Welcome to Liverpool Hope. Today I'm going to look at the BA QTS for early education, looking at teaching children between the ages of 3 and 7. So, as I say, welcome to Hope. We are based here in teacher education at the School of Education at Hope Park campus, a beautiful campus just outside the city centre, so a self-contained campus with beautiful grounds. And here we offer the BA QTS early education to teach ages 3 to 7, and we offer the BA QTS primary education, which looks at children between 5 to 11. My name is Geraldine Mulhaney, and I'm the BA QTS course lead here at Liverpool Hope, and my email's there. If you've got any other questions, please do get in touch and ask away. So here at Liverpool Hope, the trainee journey comes from, starts at this stage at sort of looking at open days and applicant days. And on our applicant days, we offer you opportunities to work either with children or with other trainees to get a flavour of what type of things you would do in a workshop and in your teaching and learning here at Liverpool Hope. As part of that journey, obviously, once you're on course, there's university-based and placement-based, and I'll go through that in a little bit more detail in a second. So that second photograph at the top is one of our delightful primary trainees and early education trainees who's working in a school there doing some writing inspired by aliens, and why not? And then as part of that journey, obviously you work towards graduation, and most of our trainees who graduate from here then go on to work in different schools. And the two young ladies there work in in a couple of our different partnership schools here in the Northwest, but others go on to work all around the world, in different parts of the world. So what does the course look like? The early years education, the early education QTS course is divided into 5 strands, and these are the 5 main strands that run through each year of your course. So there's initial professional development, which looks at the wider picture of being a teacher and working in schools. So looking at, for example, safeguarding, behaviour management, all of those things that every teacher needs to know. And then there's the Hope Teacher. The Hope Teacher is about the moral and social purpose of teachers, and it looks at latest research and reflects on that research and compares it to your experience in school. The third strand is subject knowledge, curriculum and pedagogy, and we look at core and foundation subjects here at Liverpool Hope, and what we do is we look at the curriculum and the pedagogy and how you would teach that subject. So we're not teaching you, those subjects at early education level. We're looking with you and we're exploring how it's the best to teach those things. What's the most effective way? What are different ways that, would suit different children? And then that really develops your subject knowledge and your understanding of child development and sort of how to teach children, especially in early years. The fourth aspect is an aspect that you undertake in year 2 and year 3, and that aspect is the enhanced specialist area, and that is looking more at leadership and management within your specialist subject. And for our early years trainees, our specialist subjects is communication and language and literacy. And there's a real focus on that because of the national agenda and the local agenda from our local schools. That's something that they really want our children to be secure in, so that they can be able to access and participate in the curriculum and to develop within their expected levels. The final aspect there is professional school-based learning. And this is where you get an opportunity to put all of those things above into practice and enact all of those pedagogies that you've talked about and have a go at them and reflect on them and see which works, and also work with our experts in our partnership schools so that you can develop your understanding and your knowledge even further. So we're going to look at how that looks across the years. So in year 1, you have, as part of your professional placement, you have a Key Stage 2 placement, a 1-week placement, because for our early years students, we want you to see where the children are going to. So you know where they're coming from in EYFS and in Key Stage 1, but where are they going to? What does it look like in Key Stage 2? And so what are we working, what are we helping our children to build towards? And then you have a block placement, and there are attachment days at your placement school in the autumn term, and then 6 weeks placement after January, after Christmas. And as I say, you're able there to work with the experts in the school to develop your teaching styles, your teaching pedagogy, and your teaching knowledge. As part of the placement in year one, we provide you with a transport pass. We base your placement school, we look at your term time address, and we take your distance from there, and we would judge your transport from there. And as part of settling you into Liverpool Hope, we offer this transport pass so that you are able to access your placement easily. What's the university-based sessions like? So in the weekly overview, you are in university for 3 days, 3 full days a week, and you are studying all of those aspects that we talked about before. So professional development, which is your pastoral group, and you would work with the pastoral tutor who has early education expertise, so that they can amend and adapt and sort of discuss with you what that looks like in early education settings in EYFS and Key Stage 1. You have your Hope teacher, your subject and your foundation knowledge and your sort of pedagogy. So when you've got those 3 days in university, and then you've got your full-time weeks in school, you also throughout the year have different assessments, and that's to sort of develop you academically and professionally. So as part of the year one curriculum, you have subject audits, which you can reflect on your own subject knowledge and develop that, and think how you can research to improve your subject knowledge in every aspect. You have an opportunity to do group presentations on early education on using a text to promote early literacy or early maths. And you have other assignments which are linked to child development and effective teaching, and you're able in your Viva to be able to talk about what you've learned from research, but also what you've done in practice. So it's a really holistic course where you are learning, you're doing, and then you're putting into practice. In year two, again, it's a similar sort of pattern. You've got 3 full days in university, and when you're in school-based learning, you have a chance to put into practice your understanding and develop that even further in an 8-week block placement. In year one, you would normally be in an early years placement, and then in year two in a Key Stage 1 placement, so that you're getting a range of ages across that 3 to 7 phase. As part of your year two professional placements, we also offer an SEND, a special needs placement, either in a special needs setting or in a school with a nurture base or a behavioural unit or a speech and language unit. And that's to give you strategies and work with experts to develop your practice across the board in supporting all children of all abilities. There's also opportunities to look at wider perspectives, which is looking at sustainability and international teaching, looking at issues like littering or recycling and different things like that, and to practice those in school. And also multilingual, or an opportunity to look at English as an additional language in a placement as well. So year two has got lots of placement opportunities, and what we also introduce in year two, as well as those 4 aspects that we talked about before, is the enhanced specialist area. So you start to look at communication and language and literacy in our schools, working with experts, working with leaders of early years across the sector, whether that's in maintained nurseries or whether that's in school nurseries and early years settings. Your assessments are an assignment in this year and a Viva, which is a one-to-one discussion with your with a tutor, and again it's reflecting on teaching, theory and research, but also on practice. And in this year group you have 2 exams where you know the topic that's going to be covered in the exams, but it's an unseen question, and that's again in keeping with the academic expectations here at Liverpool Hope. And finally, in year 3, if you decide to exit at year 3 with your BA QTS with early education, then you would continue that pattern of 3 full days in university and the range of assignments, including for your enhanced specialist area, a leadership and action plan, assignment, which links to that early leadership. So it gives you an opportunity to assess your own early leadership skills, and also to look at action planning and planning for change or development in schools in an early years setting, especially around communication and language. And again, you get an opportunity to work with lots of leaders who've effected change and have done so successfully. So that's a really interesting aspect to the course. Also, throughout the course in the year 2 and year 3, you have got the opportunity to optionally do the Catholic or Church of England teaching certificate, which you would do in your own time, but then you will be able to utilise your placement time to collate your evidence towards that Catholic or Church of England teaching certificate. And that's around giving you opportunities to develop your employability. We have a lot of faith schools in the Northwest and internationally and nationally, which our students go on to work in as teachers or leaders. And it's really, can be something that really helps you with your job applications. In year 3, you've got a 12-week block placement, and that block placement is usually in 2 parts, one in autumn term and the other in the spring or summer term. And that gives you an opportunity while you're back in university to do work interim, to sort of develop that expertise and to work on areas that you think you want to develop even further, so that you feel ready to be an early career teacher, ready to exit Hope into your first job. However, there is an opportunity, if you choose, at the end of year 2 to opt in to do the Masters of Education. And you would opt in year 2 not to take your QTS, your BA QTS, but you would opt to continue into a 4th year to study for a Masters of Education with QTS. And this involves really interesting projects. You work with one school and you develop a school improvement project. So, for example, some of our early years students last year worked on developing the environment for knowledge and understanding of the world, and also for working with parents with a school that really wanted to target that. In non-COVID times, there's an opportunity to work internationally, and we've got links in Dubai, Norway, or America. And students will be offered an opportunity to work internationally, but across the course, whichever aspects of that, you are working with lots of different school leaders, and all of this work leads to a Masters of Education qualification with QTS. So you can go on then to leave with your Masters as well as your QTS. So what subjects are taught? So as we say, there's lots of subjects taught across the curriculum, and the early year education programme is really an interesting programme because you're looking at that pedagogy of early years, so really immersive pedagogies, looking at the environment, how do you set up your learning environment to develop that unique child and to help that child make progress and learn. How do you work with parents and families? How do you use drama and non-language, non-verbal clues, science in the early years, using technology? There's so many different aspects that we look at, and across the 3 years, there's real opportunities to work in a variety of ways and to work on lots of different projects that will make you feel ready to be an early career teacher and an early years teacher. Part of that is working together with children and with each other. So, you might do some outdoor learning or forest schools activities. You might work with families in the community, creating sort of different family learning events. Or you might work with, as you can see on the left-hand side there, with Teacher X, who look at using different puppets and sort of life-size models to engage with children and to develop their learning. So there are really lots of different opportunities, and our trainees really appreciate this. This is what one of our early years trainees said, that the opportunity they'd had, it's really been fun and engaging, and they'd had a real range: school trips, visits, university lectures, seminars, everything that you could sort of imagine. And they felt that they had been given the best chance to professionally develop and become the best teacher possible at this stage, and to continue to learn, because it doesn't just stop there. We do continue to support you as an early career teacher. Also, what the trainees wanted to say was that, you know, it's not just about the teaching and the training on the course, but it's also about coming to Liverpool Hope and that experience of living on campus, living away, maybe perhaps away from home, and taking part in lots of different things, whether they're informal social events or formal different societies that you'd like to belong to, whether your first love is sport or acting or discussions or skateboarding, whatever it is. There's different aspects and different clubs that are here available and different societies that you can join, and you can develop yourself socially and, you know, develop a network around you. And that networking is important in terms of employment as well. So we do really work hard to support you in finding your first teaching post. We host education and teaching fairs like the one there on the picture. We have head teachers coming along to talk to you about how to apply, you know, how to write your application form, what to do, what to look for when they're interviewing for an early years education or a teacher. And there's opportunities to work with people locally, nationally and internationally. And as I say, we have our early career teachers come back to us and they will talk to you about their employability and their employment sort of challenges, and also their privileges and their work with the children that they're doing now. So that all really helps to develop you as an early career teacher. As an early career teacher, you'll still get help from Hope for 2 years after you qualify, and you are very welcome to come along to Teach Meet events where you can share best practice, or you can utilise the website, or you can work still with your tutors or partnership schools that will support you as an NQT, and also with our local authority here in Liverpool to provide CPD. So there's lots of opportunities, and we do still sort of look after you as early career teachers, and we enjoy still working with you. And a lot of our early career teachers carry on to be leaders in our partnership schools, and we continue to work together and to complete that cycle from trainee to teacher to mentor and back again. So that's always really exciting for us. There are some details here on how to connect with us at Liverpool Hope. Please do get in touch with me. My email was on that first slide. We'll hang at hope.ac.uk if you've got any questions. Please do follow us on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook. And there is Liverpool Hope Teachers, which is really useful. And there'll be lots of things on there linked to early education and promoting the pedagogy and the good practice in early years education. So thanks for listening today, and I hope that you've enjoyed this talk, and I hope to see you very soon here at Liverpool Hope, and coming to find out even more about our early education or our primary education courses.